right, for this video, we are going to learn how to place the eyes and some coal buttons. We are actually going to be using this diamond shape, so let's go ahead and drag it into our work plane. And it's way too big, so I'm going to go ahead and click on the corner. We're going to make it 3 by 3, and then the height is also going to be 3. All right, now it is tiny, but unfortunately it's also facing upward. We want it to face frontward, so I'm going to go ahead and click on it. And on your keyboard, if you click on a shape and then you tap the F button, it takes you right into where the shape is. So I'm actually wanting to look at it from the right, and I want it to turn so that this top part right here is actually facing the front. So let's go ahead and click on this. And right now I'm going to turn it to -90. Later, as we place it on the sphere, you might want to kind of edit how it's shaped because it might need to go upward a little bit. Imagine actually placing coal buttons on a real snowman. They might not all face the exact same direction. All right, so now that it's facing the right way and it's the right size, let's go ahead and look at this from the front. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and I want to move this up. Let's do first about, let's just do right here at the top. We'll do about 42, 40, 44-ish. That looks good. Now, it's floating out here in space. We actually want to place it here. So we have a few options. We can move it by clicking again on our keyboard. When our keyboard comes up, we can just move it over. Or to make it a lot easier on myself, I can just align these. But before I align, I want to make everything that I've already created into one solid shape by making it a group. So I'm going to show you what I'm doing again. Aside from the new button, I'm clicking and I'm dragging over everything, and I'm not putting the button in that box. So I've selected everything, and I'm going to make it one solid shape. Now, what happens here is, yes, it is going to change the color, but don't fret. We will get back to that. I'm going to zoom back in by clicking on F. And now when I align this, it's not going to mess up all of these other parts. Okay, so now I'm going to click and drag over everything. I'm going to go to align. Zoom out just a tad. I'm just pinching the mouse pad like I would on a cell phone. All right, so what I noticed here is when I first pushed this button, it went inside the stomach of the snowman. So I clicked the button over here on the left that lines it up in the front. But I'm curious if it's actually touching the snowman. No. So let's go ahead and let's click on our coal button. Again, select the letter F, and we're going to zoom in. Here's where we get to use our keyboard again. So at this point, I just need to move it into the snowman's stomach, kind of like if I were actually putting a piece of coal. And I can just select the image, and now looking at it on this side, looking at it from the right, I'm going to use the right key, and it's going to now be placed in the stomach. That sounds kind of strange. All right, so I can look at it. You know what? I don't know if I like it that much, so I can do a lot of other options or a lot of other things. You can just adjust it, and again, click, hit F, zoom in, hit F again on that one small shape. So I noticed that this part of the stomach is turned, but I have made this just a perfect 90-degree or just a flat line. So I'm actually going to turn it the angle a little. Oops, wrong button. There we go. And make it like that. Okay, so now when I move around, it looks just like a piece of coal that's right in our snowman. So when I click home and move up, there it goes. So we have to remember that this snowman isn't two-dimensional, it's not flat. So we might have to adjust each of our pieces of coal. All right, so now what I'm going to do, instead of going through all of that again, I've selected this one piece of coal. And now I'm going to duplicate it. There's a button right over here under where we named it. And when I click on it, it makes a copy of it. Now all I have to do is click on my cone, and it's going to move this one up. Now you're going to notice that part of it goes into the stomach. That's because this, again, is a sphere. So what we need to do is move it so that I can see it. I'm going to go over here to the right. I'm going to click F to zoom in, and let's go ahead and adjust again the angle. There we go. So just by adjusting the angle, it looks more like I've placed, oops, wrong button again. It looks more like I've placed coal on the front of our snowman. So there he goes. It looks like it's just part of the snowman. Again, let's click home. So that looks great. We could put one more in the middle if we wanted to. So again, duplicate. I'm going to go to the side because I think what's going to happen is that when I move it down, zoom out just a little. When I move it down, it's going to go right straight into the belly. So I'm actually going to move this one out a little by clicking on the left key. And now I'm going to move it down using this key or this button. All right, so he's not quite placed yet. All we have to do, click F, zoom in, and we're going to turn him just like we did the others, all right? So I'm going to turn him. If I zoom out like out here, it's easier to turn. Still not touching, so imagine that you're picking up the piece of coal, and now we're going to place it right into the belly of the snowman. So now we have 3 pieces of coal. And we can go here in a second, or we can do this right now, and we can turn them all to the color of coal. Which I guess that'd be more gray, but for this, I've already clicked on this color. All right, so I have 3, but now we're wanting to place the eyes. So let's do what we did earlier. Just find one of them, and you're just going to duplicate it again. We're going to move it up to the face, and I mean, you can leave it as a Cyclops snowman if you want to, but I think I'm going to adjust it by using these buttons right here. All right, so I've placed one. We'll zoom in just a second to make sure that it's correct. I'm going to duplicate this one, and I'm going to move the one that just was duplicated, oops, using the right button. So from the front, it looks like it's on there, but let's look. Are they on there from the side? Oh, no, they are not. That looks kind of creepy. So let's go ahead and zoom in by clicking F. And I'm just clicking and dragging to move it around to see better. And just like we've done earlier, I'm going to use that right key, that right button, to place the snowman. Whoops, whoa, all over the place. Okay, so I'm going to go to this one, and I'm going to select F just like I did earlier. Zoom to the right. Now I'm going to zoom out just a hair. There we go. And I'm going to use that right key just like I did earlier. Move it straight into the snowman. It's not going to move for me. All right, so it looks like the eyes are placed. I'm going to click on home because I really want everything to have a different color to it. So I'm going to go ahead and click and drag. Earlier I grouped everything, and I can leave it grouped. In fact, I think I'm just going to go ahead and group everything, but it's going to look like it all turns one color. There we go. But let's click on color again. Because we had already given everything a specific color, we just have to tell the program, yeah, this is a multicolor shape. Let's see. I'm going to ungroup. Well, that took my shapes or my colors that I had earlier and undid them. Let's ungroup. There we go. I had to just click ungroup one more time. So now once I've ungrouped everything, it goes back to the original colors. All right, so our next video will be how to place our scarf, and then we will be done.